Welcome everybody, and today we're taking a look at a brand new 4K release from Arrow Video, and it is 1978's Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So this was directed by Philip Kaufman, who I've only seen one other film from before, and it was Rising Sun, which wasn't particularly good. But this is a science fiction horror film, clocking in at 115 minutes long. Has a fantastic cast with the likes of Donald Sutherland, who I've seen in 24 other films. Favourites from him would be the likes of Don't Look Now and Eye of the Needle, as well as Brooke Adams, who was really rather good in The Dead Zone, Leonard Nimoy, obviously in the Star Trek films from the 70s to the early 90s, Jeff Goldblum, who was in like Jurassic Park, The Fly, and Deep Cover, and finally Veronica Cartwright, who would be in another sci-fi horror film in the 70s, Alien, from the following year, and The Birds. Plus, we've also got cameos from Don Siegel, who was in the who directed the original film from the 50s, as well as Kevin McCarthy, who was also the lead actor in the original film. Plus, also look out for a cameo from Robert Duvall on a swing, which I never noticed somehow before, despite watching this film multiple times in the past. So yeah, when health official Elizabeth Driscoll notices that her lover has become strangely distant, this sets in train a series of shocking discoveries that sees both her and colleague Matthew Bennell fleeing for their lives to the sound of ear-piercing alien screams. So this is arguably one of the best horror remakes out there, with only the likes of John Carpenter's The Thing being another contender I can think of for that honour, as this beautifully mixes the three best genres of the decade with horror, sci-fi, and conspiracy thriller. The cast is also superb. The practical effects are incredible. It is extremely well shot. The atmosphere is drenched in paranoia and dread, which perfectly fits the engrossing plot. The score enlivens each scene it is prominent in. The sound design makes several scenes creepy and menacing, especially the alien screams. It is well paced, and the script balances the three genres I mentioned before really rather well, while also featuring noteworthy themes. So, yeah, excellent film to be honest. I do prefer it to the original. Not that the original didn't have its own elements to it to enjoy, and it is at the end of the day a really rather great film, especially with the whole Cold War paranoia that is inflicted into that film. But like I said, I feel that this works in other ways, especially for the time that it was released. Especially in terms of the conspiracy thriller, it's post Watergate and whatnot. So I think it really excels at being like a conspiracy thriller, but with that sci-fi and horror edge going to it as well, which is overall excellent. So yeah, really really fantastic looking release as well from Arrow Video. Obviously they had this film already on Blu-ray on a release that came out a while ago. Um, and yeah, but still, I love this film. It's a 5 out of 5 film for me. So to get it on 4K is a real treat, especially with all of the little extras that we get with it. So we have the film on disc, no Blu-ray edition to this at all. But I'm not bothered about that. If I'm gonna have a 4K film, I'm already got the ability to play the 4K film. So having it on Blu-ray really is no real necessary or necessity even. So the disc has the new artwork printed on it. We also have the original artwork on the other side of this cover, which you'll see with the poster that we have. But we also have some art cards, all of which have the original poster artwork on the back. But yeah, so minor spoilers for the film. Yeah, it is an excellent film, and I do highly recommend it if you've not seen it so far. And like I said, there's very few films I'd say that are remakes that are better than the original. And finally, then we have the double-sided poster, which, as you probably guessed, has the original artwork and the new artwork. So it's double-sided. Nice paper as per usual from Arrow Video. So there's the original artwork poster, which I really rather like, and then the new one, which again I like as well. Now you could have got a different style of artwork, which I believe is what would be on the poster as well from Arrow Video themselves. I did plan on actually getting it from them, but I came across it a little bit too late, and therefore it was sold out by the time it got to it. It doesn't really matter. I do like the artwork that this has going on, and regardless. And then we have a booklet as well, which has some fantastic little bit of artwork on the front there. Really rather quite horrifying. And inside we have cast and crew. Then we have We Came from Outer Space from 2013 by David Carnes. Then we have Pods Over San Francisco from 1979 by Charles Freund. Then we have Hollywood Maverick Philip Kaufman interviewed from 1979 by Stephen Farber. Then we have Invasion of the Body Snatchers, an interview with W.D. Richter from 1978 by Steve Rubin, and then we've got About the Restoration as well. So yeah, the film itself looks really rather good in 4K. I wouldn't say it's an essential film to have on 4K, but it has future-proofed it, especially when it comes to buying new TVs and whatnot. And yeah, it does arguably look a little bit better than the Blu-ray that we already had from Arrow Video. So the original camera negative was scanned in 4K resolution, and the film was restored in 4K and graded in HDR10 and Dolby Vision for this UHD version. And the master was made available from MGM via Park Circus. So I do believe Kino Lorber already released a 4K of this a while back. Now they're an American company, so you can't actually export from America from them. You have to go via eBay, and that usually inflates prices. So, but even though I could find that via Kino Lorber on eBay for about £24, which is about £6 less than this, at the end of the day, you don't get all of these physical extras with it. And yeah, at the end of the day, this is also a UK release. So even though 4K is generally region free, that's not always the case. Pretty sure this is though, but it doesn't actually say on the back of the box itself. But we also have a bunch of extras on the disc itself. So we have optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, audio commentary with director Philip Kaufman, discussing the pod, a panel conversation about Invasion of the Body Snatchers and Invasion Cinema, featuring critic Kim Newman and filmmakers Ben Wheatley, who did Kill List, and Norman J. Warren, who did Satan's Slave. Then we have Writing the Pod, an interview with Jack Seabrook, author of Stealing Through Time, on the writings of Jack Finney, about Finney's original novel, The Body Snatchers. Then we have Revisitors from Outer Space, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Pod, a documentary on the making of the film featuring Philip Kaufman, Donald Sutherland, writer W.D. Richter, and more. My cat there interrupting my filming by jumping on the bed. Then we have The Man Behind the Scream, the sound effects pod, a look at the film's pioneering sound effects, which I already mentioned being really rather good. So yeah, that will be interesting to look at. Then The Invasion will be televised. The cinematography pod, the cinematographer Michael Chapman, who also did Taxi Driver and Raging Bull, discusses the look of and influences on the visual style of the film. Then we have Practical Magic, the special effects pod, a look at the creation of the special effects from the opening space sequence. Then we have the original theatrical trailer and all of the physical extras that I've already talked about. So yeah, fantastic physical aspects to this new release. The 4K itself looks great, and at the end of the day, you've got a 5-star film backing all of that up. So yeah, incredible film. Like I said, one of the best remakes going, not just in terms of the sci-fi horror genre, but in terms of remakes in general. And yeah, again, if you've not seen this before, or even the original before, then I do highly recommend both. Like I said, they do things slightly differently, but they're also able to coexist between one another, or alongside one another, even while still being perfectly able to be good in their own terms, without really having to compete against one another. So yeah, excellent film, and another classic horror from the 70s to star Donald Sutherland after Don't Look Now. So it's nice to have another one of his films on 4K after also having Don't Look Now on 4K from Studio Canal. But nonetheless, thank you for watching. If you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.